welcome back, my friends, to the game that hasn't ended. So glad you could attend, except for the person who'd rather do something else today.
We
Uh,
cannot speak of because of copyright.
yes. Alright, so previously you all had found a village of gnomes that had, several hundred years ago, left civilized lands to try and return to the ways of their ancestors. With mixed but mostly positive results. They welcomed you with a proper feast, but were not happy with your news. Uh, Kaji cut a deal with one of the locals in exchange for getting Vaughn's bow enchanted, traded away a lot of your looted items, uh, but failed to get, you know, permission from the group as a whole. And then, upon going to ask about when the bow would be done, failed to return and tell everybody and left town to assist one of the locals with their hunt. After several hours, Charlotte used a scroll to cast Commune with Birds and found out that Kaji was well outside the village at this point on horseback. Uh, Charlotte, you made a wisdom check, I believe,
Correct.
for a 21. All right. All right. So yes. So what you realize, because it was either going to be wisdom or knowledge arcana, is that that's
Oh, excuse me.
damn son.
Sorry.
You should be.
Yeah, I'm wearing a headset. God damn. All right. So you realize that that spell only will reach out to a mile. So despite the vast quantity of time that has passed, she is still within a mile of the village.
Okie dokie. Well, obviously, I'm assuming I'm aware that if the spell only goes out to that far, that I can kind of let my party know that's how far roughly Kaji is.
Well, yeah, they didn't. The answer you received did not really give you how far within that range, but you know.
She has been gone for several hours. If she was on doing a runner,
Either she started later than you thought, or she's not moving very fast.
So
In
I
which case, well, I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah.
so I point in that direction. That
Okay.
they kind of the birds let me know and let the party know about that.
also, do you want the wisdom checks for me and Charlotte?
That was Charlotte's wisdom check.
Oh, okay. Do you want mine then?
Yeah, you can either make a wisdom or a knowledge local.
Sorry. Comes down to the same thing with a total of 20.
Okay, nice. All right, so in a thon, they have a custom. Sorry, I was trying to think of the right word. Of guesting rights. Wherein, as long as you are a guest, you are afforded the protection of the host. Many of the things that have been happening here and some of the references the gnomes have made indicate that they practice something similar.
Right.
However, based on what you understand, you're not sure if it applies directly to them or not. If you leave the village like this, you are no longer a guest, and therefore are no longer under the guesting rights.
So I turn to the group and so this is after Charlotte shared her thing, and I speak up. I'm like, so we might currently be operating under guest rights, which, pause. I realize most of you might not understand. So, as they're the hosts, we are afforded certain protections as guests. Mind you, there are some expectations as guests, but those aren't important at the moment. The primary thing being that if we leave, particularly if we leave in a hurry without proper farewells or other such ceremony, we lose guest rights. And considering the way that some of the villagers apparently feel about us, I'm not sure that's a good thing. How about this? I pause. Why don't I go and see if I can find Kaji. I am, after all, the best tracker, one of the better trackers out of the party, and find out what's going on. Because I'll be blunt, I feel fairly confident that if something foul is afoot, I can handle her.
Right on. I definitely agree.
If there isn't something foul afoot, then I'm probably going to cuff her about the ears for failing at communicating again. Does that sound agreeable to the rest of you?
Well, all I'm gonna suggest is at least take Charlotte with you, just in case.
And I'm like, what, me?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have healing ability, so in case things get out of hand, you can help.
Okay. I make a splendid, cheerful face and I'm like, I can back you up, Cormag.
I nod to you, much appreciated. On the way out, I am going to ask any of the locals if they saw Kaji leaving, because that might also help it indicate give us some clues as to what's going on. All right, I gather my things because I'd probably set my sword aside so I get Tenken, attach it to my belt, kind of do a shakeout, make sure everything's still right. I'm like, all right. Hopefully, we will be back soon with our party member, and she will have an explanation, even if it's one that makes us want to groan again.
I grab my things as well, back in my room, and I show myself following Cormag.
All right.
Brody.
Well, if you're going to try and
Diplomacy?
Yep.
Wow, what a good thing I have diplomacy as a class skill.
Mm-hmm.
15.
Okay.
Not great, but not bad.
All right. So you check with one of the locals as you pass, and they're like, your Renee companion, I believe she went hunting with Kali.
I pause. Huh. Well, I do actually say this in game. I'm like, well, I'm mildly irritated she didn't let the rest of us know she was ranging out, but thank you.
They nod and go about their business.
So I turn to Charlotte as we're walking. I'm like, so if she went out hunting with with Kali, I pause and I'm like, out of game. I don't know that off the top of his head, Cormac knows who she is.
Uh, if you were introduced to this person, it
Possibly,
was
but
probably during the feast. Um,
right.
I guess another wisdom check.
And,
I don't remember being introduced to this person until I went looking for the person to
She kind of,
actually
but
I was gonna
go
say,
and
she
trade with.
introduced herself to
Yeah.
you.
but I was also up there,
She,
not quite glad handing, but
Hmm?
in
I don't know if she gave us her name, but she was the first one we met when we came into town.
Nope, that was Mavis.
No,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was Mavis too. I don't recall ever meeting. I think Kali's only point of contact was
Oh,
Kaji.
right. Yeah, sorry, I got the two mixed in my head. Yeah.
okay, 15 on the wisdom check.
Okay. You vaguely remember the name, uh, and being uh, a serious-looking auburn-haired gnome, female gnome.
Right.
But other than that, yeah, you're like, I don't remember. You never talked to her. Didn't
Eh.
have.
But I think I recognize the name, and that's. I'm like,
And you would
so
probably recognize her if you saw her.
right. So as I said, I'm turning to Charlotte. I'm like, so I guess the question arises if, as they told us, Kaji just went out hunting, which I'm kind of rubbing at my jaw. Even the fact that it's been several hours, if there was, as I said earlier, which as we noted earlier, a little odd, it seems entirely likely she is. Well, I sigh. I'm like, do we want to go chasing after her, or do we want to have faith in our comrade that this is all just a misunderstanding?
Okay, well,
I'm asking you.
yeah, no, and I'm responding. So what do you know about? I mean, like I'm trying to remember when we first started this game. What do you? Obviously, there was the recent conflict. Was I there when that conflict occurred between, I guess, you and Kaji?
Out of game, you're talking about where she had done the whole thing of, hey, this is all just about all the non-magical loot that we've gotten on this run, and I just traded it all away. You did what?
Actually, I don't think I was. I don't know when
Is
that
that what
occurred.
you're asking about?
I think I can't technically ask about that because I wasn't. I don't think I was there when
No,
that
as a
incident.
player, are you asking about? I could have sworn you were. That
Okay,
I
was
think.
pretty much everyone was there, I
yeah.
thought.
Okay, cool.
To
So,
answer that, yes, you were there because everyone else was packing up to leave, and Kaji came back
oh,
and like, hey, we're staying here for a while.
okay. So I know part of probably I can see that you're concerned. Um, I'm definitely concerned about Kaji, but do you think that um it would jeopardize the rest of the party if we were to leave? Would it other
I
than
don't. I don't see it doing so. We are, as I said, as far as I can tell, operating under guest rights. I don't know. I want to have more faith in my comrade.
I say that well, based on the incident, okay, so I'm a very carefree individual. My alignment's kind of like a neutral good.
Okay.
So I would say for someone that's neutral good, I would probably say like I'm still in alignment with that. I would say that, I'm some way still kind of concerned about him. I understand it bothered you that he sold our items without
She.
our discussion. Yeah, yes, she. Um, but I think that it wouldn't hurt to maybe at least check on Kaji. Kaji's really not that far, probably. So there's no, I mean, we could at least check on her, make sure she's okay.
All right. That's fine then.
So
Okay, so we're going to keep moving towards towards the direction that she should be.
yeah, buddy.
All right. So as two of you head off down the road, the two of you give me perception checks.
I'm doing good so far. 24.
That's a good roll. My roll is going to be also 23 actually.
Nice. All right. So both of you see a pair of, or actually a trio of younger gnomes eyeing you a short ways outside the village. They're off to the one side of the road. Um, they're not exactly hidden, but they weren't open and obvious either. But they, even though one of them's obviously got a lot of disdain for you, they don't do anything.
Mm.
All right. So the two of you go on down the road a ways. Meanwhile, Kaji,
Yep.
I really probably should have named this gnome otherwise, but Kali has come by. Yes, Kali and Kaji is. She has come by and dropped off a few rabbits with you and asked you to go ahead and take them back.
Okay.
She's going to continue the circuit and come in on the other side.
All right. I'll meet her. Tell her I'll meet her back.
Okay. And she directs you to give them to a fellow by the name of Granch, who will.
A fella by the name of who?
Granch.
Granch. Is he grouchy?
She kind of shrugs. Not usually.
Good enough for me. All right. Well, I will tie the haul to the side of my horse, and I let her know that I'll look forward to seeing her back at the camp.
Okay. She nods at you, and her wolf head off to the other side of the road to continue a circuit around to, look for more prey.
All right. So I guess I'll just start leisurely riding back in the direction of the village.
Okay. So Kaji, Cormag, and Charlotte all give me new perception checks.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All fail, they cross paths and don't see each other.
Yeah, somehow.
That would be hilarious. But a 20.
I roll a 15.
21.
Okay. So Cormag and Kaji see each other at about the same time. You're approaching each other on the road.
I'll wave, but I won't yell out. Because I know that
I noticed
Kali's
that.
hunting and I don't want to scare anything.
So I wave and kind of jog up. Like before this, I'd been moving at a steady pace. Now I'm kind of hustling a little up to you.
I'll just motion for you to stay a little quieter.
I follow the little jog that Cormag is doing.
Get up there. So, hi.
Hello. What are you doing out here?
Looking for you.
But why?
Well, you kind of vanished on us. You went to find out when we would be leaving, and
Oh,
then
I did do that, didn't I?
I'm looking. I'm looking at you, kind of raising an eyebrow. I snark. There's kind of a snort of laughter. I'm like, yes, yes, you did.
I just shrug a little bit. I got sidetracked.
I've done the same thing a time or two. Mind you, I'm still a little irritated because we were worried about you. But all's well that ends well. I
I
kind of take a
needed
sniff.
I needed to clear my head after figuring out that I'd actually done you guys wrong. I need to think on how I was going to fix it for you.
I kind of huff. Well, it's appreciated. The thought's appreciated. And I kind of sniff. Huh? Did you go hunting?
Well, Callie did. I was only helping her. She's still out in the woods hunting, which is why I'm staying a
Ah,
little quieter. I don't
I
want to
kind of
scare anything
lift.
away from her.
I lift a finger up to my lips and tap like, I gotcha. All right,
But
so she told.
she's got some good stew meat here, so should be good rations for tonight as well.
Alrighty.
But I was just heading back. She said she was going to meet me back at the village.
Alrighty.
Okay, so anything else?
At that point, just
No, nothing from me. I was just on my way back and happened to see them coming up to me. As far as I know, there's nothing wrong.
I'm assuming you ride past us,
Yeah.
and you do not stay in our strat. Okay.
I mean, I wasn't going quickly. I wasn't like trotting or anything or riding fast. So there was no reason you wouldn't be able to stay with me or me stay with you.
Well, we're technically under no general concern to follow you at some crazy speed, so we're probably just gonna most likely walk back, knowing us.
Yes, but without her pushing the horse, like you guys have traveled on foot while she's been on horseback before. That's how you travel down the road.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I'm not like rushing back or anything. So you're not going to have to like run or sprint to keep up.
not even going to need
Probably
to
just
jog.
walk at a good pace. Yeah,
Yeah.
walk at a good pace, but not going back any real quick. No rush.
All right. Meanwhile, back in the village, do does Genevieve or Skiffley do anything?
I'm just kind of waiting around, see what happens with this.
I want to watch the fireworks.
Same. I'm still not convinced she's innocent yet.
Vaughn's kind of Vaughn's torn because Vaughn was told, "Hey, you're getting your enchanted bow." So either he's going to get this enchantment on his bow, or somebody has stolen his bow and now he doesn't have one. So it's kind of a really good thing or a really bad thing for him. But after about a little more than half a candle mark, you see all three of them coming back into the village. So,
Right, well, assuming nothing else, I'm going to go looking for this Gaunch character,
Granch.
Granch.
Yep. So I will make my way back to the rest of the group.
Grinch character. Is he green? Is his heart too small?
No, to both of those. You do find or are directed to him. Middle-aged gnome. He's he takes the rabbits and he sets about preparing them. Once you tell him they're for Kali, or from Kali rather. But he's rather taciturn and just nods to you and turns to his work.
I let him know that she's going to be coming back with more too.
You get a grunt of approval.
All right. With that, I guess I'll go. Is there like a hitching post in this town, or do they just let everything roam?
No, there's, remember, near the visitor's lodge, there's a place for the animals.
Ah, gotcha. All right. Well, I'll go turn my horse back in, make sure it's fed and watered.
Meanwhile, Cormac and Charlotte approach the group.
So, kind of knock at the door frame. Because I'm at. So, good news and slightly frustrating news. Good news is it was a mistake on her part. She wanted to go clear her head because she realized, according to her, she felt bad that she'd acted without thought and hurt the rest of the party like that. She went out hunting with one of the locals. She's back in the village, dropping off the food now, and probably taking care of her animal, I would hope. She got distracted and forgot to come talk to us. So, like I said, good news and mildly irritating.
Well,
It does feel like the kind of thing where we need to talk to her, but I also feel like I get it. I had a couple incidents like this when I was younger. Kind of looked to the side, couple arguments with my father that shake myself. Anyway, so like I said, I'm not going to stop you from getting a little upset with her, but her heart was in the right place.
well, did she at least find out what we needed to know?
I believe she did, but I'll be honest, I was more focused on relief that she was okay. For the way she was talking, we're probably going to wind up staying the night, but I think that'll be it.
Okay.
So, about 5 to 10 minutes later, Kaji comes back to the lodge.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just walk in. just stand there like a kid waiting to receive his lashes.
I stand up. I'm gonna go take a walk around the village. And I go and I'm gonna go try to find. I'm gonna ask around to see if I can find a storyteller.
Okay, so you just walk past Kaji,
Yep.
who's standing there waiting. Uh, anybody else do anything?
And I'm like, hey, Kaji, I'm glad you're back. Seems like you're a really experienced adventurer, huh? It seems like you know what you're doing. No, it's not even so. I'm like being serious when I ask that. It's like I'm confirming that you're an experienced adventurer.
I can't tell if you're messing with me or not.
No, I'm just like, no, I don't know anything about you. All I know is that you're Kaji the Rogue. Like, it's not even me metagaming or anything. I'm literally just like, I promise you. I
It
promise you.
sounded really shitty.
No. It was like me being like,
That's
even if it's like everyone else can do what they want with it because I don't have that additional info. All I know is that I'm just glad you're back and like you seem like you're really experienced.
I'm not sure how I'm going to take that.
And then I'm assuming you're just kind of like taken back or whatever you want to say.
Look, I know I should have talked to you guys first. I'm sorry. I hope I can make it up to you guys. But in the meantime, after thinking about it, I'm going to give each of you the fair market value for what I sold.
I have no idea in like trading and stuff. So if anyone else wants to do insight, I'm just like willingly accept whatever Kaji's gonna give me because I don't really understand trade value and such.
I kind of hold my hands up. I'm like, if that is what you feel you need to do for restitution, that's fine.
It will begin to tip the scales back towards me, but I know that it's more of the breach of trust that is the problem.
Vaughn holds his hand up to interrupt. He's like, actually, I just want to know when I'm gonna get my bow back.
So, about that,
There's this look of trepidation on his face.
You-
I I got sidetracked when I was going to go ask. I never actually found out how long it was going to take, but my best guess with an enchantment like that is about a day or two.
Out of game, you were given an answer.
I was. I
Yes.
completely forgot then.
Okay. Considering that for you it's only been a few hours, but it was literally a line. Give me a doing a lot of these lately. Wisdom check.
Oh no, we're
Yeah.
all in trouble.
Would Kaji also know who the bow was given to specifically as well?
Yeah. Oh, what was her name? That is a 13 on the wisdom.
It was important information at the time you were given it. I'll say that's enough. You were told it would be done by at least the end of tomorrow.
So end of day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, about 24 hours. I think it was Mavis. I think that's right. That sounds right.
Vaughn, you must be so excited to see your new bow.
Oh, I mean, it's still gonna be the same bow, just enchanted, I think.
That's pretty
Maybe a whole
cool.
new bow.
Hmm.
It turns out to be a whole new bow.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
Sorry, I destroyed this last one in the process. So we replaced it with this bow, and it's like a little tiny ass bow made for a gnome.
Oh.
Alright, so. Ah. Meanwhile, Genevieve, you have gone looking. The first person, or when you're asking around, give me a diplomacy.
Hey guys, you know what would really help when you play D&D?
Character sheet.
A dice.
Leave them at home.
No, they're in my backpack, but I didn't even think to get them out. So give me a second, and then
What?
I'll roll on this.
Alright.
And then it's a diplomacy.
Yeah.
And I'll go get them.
Oh, boy.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's what I get.
So, you are directed to the eldest gnome in the village. The lore keeper at this point begins to teach the ancient lessons to the youngins. His name is Tenno.
Oh, this guy again.
Mm-hmm.
Crap.
Um, I'll be honest, I don't remember offhand. Were you involved in dealing with him last night at the
Nope.
feast? No? So you go looking for this guy. Alright.
Wasn't his little fit kind of a public thing? Like, did he just like in the middle of the feast?
Uh, he was kind of off to the side because he didn't really welcome you guys. It was public, but it wasn't overly loud. Like, if you were nearby, you heard it, but if you were,
Well,
if you weren't, then it probably just mixed into the general noise.
I was with the village leader, so I don't know where he was.
Nor do I. Uh,
Either way, I'd be approaching it the same way, so
no.
it's okay. I just what's he doing right now?
Well, when you find him, he is brooding.
Like just sitting on a stump, just
staring and kind of into the village in general, and then like glaring you down as you approach. Yes.
So, as I get to a polite distance, give him a nice little wave and hello. Um, it's Teto, right?
What do you want, outsider?
Well, really, I just as a way of saying thanks for dinner last night, and seems like it's gonna be again tonight. I was hoping to learn like a story of one of your former heroes or legends that I could uh, recite tonight for everybody, if you wouldn't mind teaching me one.
You know what? I need another diplomacy roll.
20.
All right. Um. So he does that one-eyed glare because the other eye is covered in milky cataract. Uh. Finally, after what feels like several minutes, but probably was less than 30 seconds, he says, "You want to know of one of our heroes? Fine. Sit and listen." And he begins to weave a tale of one of the ancient heroes that helped found this village. Has a name that I have not come up with yet because I wasn't expecting to come up with more names. Yeah. But this person is basically what you're finding out is this story is emphasizing the dangers of dealing with outsiders and trusting tall folk. So, Lolder is going to be the name of this person. What the heck was that? Sorry, I just got a burst of music in my headphones from something. I don't know what it's from.
Oh, that is strange.
Yeah. Alright, well, we're going to pretend to ignore that, and, so, da, 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 da. Yeah, he gives you the legend of Loldir, one of the founders of the village who helped lead the people away from the Sioux and the corruption and arrogance of its people. Um, Sorry, Josh, if you're expecting a whole story right now, I was not prepared for this question, so.
Where's my lore dump? No, it's fine as long as when I make my performance check, you don't expect me to tell a
Nope.
story.
Nope. No. Oh.
Because my plan, then realizing the story that he's telling, I'm gonna try to put my artistic spin on it to make it a little more less outsider phobic. Try to steer it more towards, that was then. Now, maybe we can find ways to work together.
All right. Do you have? I'm sure you have the perform, but do you have anything for? Because like you're hearing this whole story once, so I'm just trying to figure out how well you memorize it.
So what I was thinking, my expectation for how this is about to go, it would still be the perform check, and then as I roll terribly, I'll be sitting there like, fuck, I should have wrote this down.
I'll tell you what, I'll let you take your since I've been using wisdom instead of charisma. I've been using wisdom for memory checks. Roll your perform, but swap your stats wisdom for charisma bonus.
Well, since I'm a cleric, ironically, it goes up.
That's funny.
Yeah, I had a feeling it might be something like that, but I'm.
Let's see here.
It was that or intelligence, and I'm like,
28.
Jeez. All right. So you're not sure how accurate his story is. Although you do recognize one or two of the names of officials, like when he's talking about the corruption in Lasue, people that drove him out, you do recognize one or two of the names from actual history. So his story is probably at least history adjacent, if not actual truth. But that's going to take you a good hour and a half to find him and listen to his story.
Yep.
Meanwhile, back at the lodge. Kaji, did you pass out money, or are you waiting for Genevieve to be there as well?
I will wait because I want. I mean, she kind of left before I made that announcement.
Okay. Yeah. So Vaughn has already declined. He's like, you are getting my bow enchanted. That is, you already paid me. Do any of you do anything during this time? Otherwise, we're skipping.
As I recall, I had finished my map of the local region. If you recall, there was the brief interruption with the young lad with his artistic talent.
Yes.
At this point, I'm probably just kind of sitting back, relaxing, drinking some tea.
Okay.
You know what? No, I would try and see if anybody wants to play Mahjong.
You have a set of tiles with you, I take it?
I do.
Kaji doesn't know how to play, but she'd be willing to learn.
Same here. I think I'm just relaxing until we're ready to leave this. Like I've been just kind of uneasy the entire time I've been here, so I'm just ready to get out. I'm trying to just not be a burden to anybody and just kind of keep it to myself.
Well, to
While we
be
wait
fair,
for this blow.
it is quite possible that none of these gnomes have ever seen a drow.
None of them have probably seen a Renee.
Oh no, they've seen Renee. Renee, get around.
That they do.
Wow. Cooler.
Yes, in both
Not,
meaning,
not
both possible meanings of that.
That was not a jab. That was truth.
When you're the race that discovered birth control, you tend to take advantage of it.
Oh yeah.
Did not give them the best reputation, but, you know.
As she has done nothing wrong.
That we can prove.
And even if you have proof, it was fabricated.
All right. Charlotte, you just waiting for Genevieve to return?
Yes.
Okay. Well, eventually she does. Kaji, you have learned a little bit about how to play mahjong.
Hooray!
Not enough to give Cormag a proper challenge, but it was, one brief session, so.
So, yeah, now that Genevieve is back, I'll stop her. Be like, look, I know I screwed up. I apologize. I want to start making it right to you. And in order to do that, as I've already told everyone else, I'm giving everyone what would have been sold if we'd sold all the equipment. So, given that, I will hand her a pouch with 140 gold in it. That is the market value for all the equipment that we sold or traded for the bow enchantment. Now I'll hand each of you a pouch with that amount in it.
Dungeon Master, is it the value of the stuff?
It's actually 2 gold more. And that's 140 is the total value of what we would have got for selling it. I just gave each of you that amount. So, as your resident rogue, know how much it pains me to part with this much gold. However, I feel like rebuilding the trust that you have in me is far more important. And I know this doesn't completely repair any wrongdoing I've done, but I feel like this is a start.
Well, they say admitting you have a problem is the first step. So
I thought that was
I'm
denial.
No, it's correct. Admitting is definitely one of the steps, but I don't think it has to go in any specific order necessarily.
um, this is a good gesture. So, all right.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you all worry. I didn't mean to make you all think that I was trying to screw you guys over or anything. I didn't think before I acted. I acted very impulsively. I saw an opportunity and I took it, which is valuable in my line of work, but not so great when you're working with a team.
Yep. It's yeah, just consulting this before you do so would be the better option. But it's all right. Just for the record, I wasn't mad. I was just disappointed. But you recognize that, so we can move on.
I just imagine Kaji's ears dropping a bit when you say that.
You got the mom disappointed look.
I did. I felt it.
Felt it in my soul.
So, how long are we stuck here?
At least till the end of tomorrow. Which is also why I was gone earlier. I was helping get the rations that we'd be consuming tonight.
That's good. I suppose we'll just try to stay out of their hair until dinner, and then until we can leave.
Kaji, question for you.
Yes.
Do you remember what you overheard from the council?
In real life, no, I do not. I know, now that you mention it, I do remember overhearing something important, but I can't for the life of me remember specifics.
I mean, it didn't seem important enough for you to come back and tell them earlier, so I'm going to go with no.
Damn. Uh-oh.
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to move on then.
Would an 18 wisdom check do it?
I'm going to start giving you memory penalties.
Oh, shit.
At this point, it might be a drawback.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say yes at this point, but the fact that Kaji has so many issues,
It's a squirrel.
yeah. So yeah, you remember as you passed by the chief's house that there was a meeting going on in there, with some people advocating for a lot of you to just be killed. So you couldn't report back.
That would be very crucial information that I probably would have remembered.
Apparently it wasn't.
Let's say because you heard that and you said, "Oh,
Well, I also
go
now
hunt."
that you mention it, I also remember that was a loud minority that was saying that.
True.
It wasn't the majority.
True. But still feel, I don't, maybe, at least to me, that feels important. But you can choose to share it or not.
Given how important that actually is, given that there is a bolt of inspiration, since we're talking about needing to leave as soon as possible, I would probably agree with you guys at that point. Like, we do need to, it's nice here, but we do need to get out of here quicker, sooner rather than later. Because there are growing concerns about them wanting to kill us. Especially from would I've recognized whose voice it was that had said that in the meeting? Would I have known that it was Tenno, probably? Yeah. But I mean, given that he is the eldest and probably the most influential, he'd be the one that I'd remember.
Yep.
But yeah,
definitely one of them.
Yeah, so we should definitely not overstay our welcome any longer than we have to.
Says the person who made it so they couldn't leave for 2
I know.
days.
I know, but that was before I knew. Because I didn't have any interaction with him beforehand. That was Cormag that had, or not Cormag, but Vaughn who had the interaction with him.
Yep.
So I had no idea until I overheard their conversation.
I suddenly just have the worry that maybe we should utilize our stealthier components to just get the bow back and maybe leave.
Well, here's the problem. It's currently undergoing an enchantment ritual.
Well, yeah, we'd be breaking the ritual. It wouldn't come back enchanted, but the chances that we just have to end up slaughtering these gnomes is growing. And I also say that not being confident in our ability to do so. There's a lot of them.
To be honest, right now, I feel at this point we should just go ahead.
Go ahead.
I feel at this point all we can really do, our best bet is to simply stay here, stay out of the way, tend to ourselves. Be on guard. But I want us to be basically I want if something starts, I want to be able to say with absolute certainty that we didn't start it.
Well, no, of course. I don't think that we've done
And
anything
I also,
to provoke them.
Unfortunately, I will point out that having someone sneak into their enchanter's home, if something happens and they get caught, could start something.
I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, but I will agree with that 100%.
I agree with that as well.
In game, no, in game, I'm like, I do understand your concern, and I do feel that we should be on guard, but I also I am choosing to believe in
Cooler heads prevailing.
In cooler heads prevailing, so long as we do our best to avoid giving them any ammunition.
I mean, I seem to be getting along okay with Kali, who seems to be the person they rely on for their hunting and their tracking. So, I mean, I don't imagine that she doesn't have an insignificant voice. I could go and try and talk to her.
Maybe, because I feel like we should brainstorm some way of just extending the olive branch here. Try to make some peace. Maybe she'll have an idea.
I hate to say it, I'm not sure how much of a possibility there even is of that, of extending an olive branch. We are, I don't know, maybe.
Well, I mean, you guys have dealt with Cutter, right? I mean,
Right.
he seems to be all right with us being here.
Yes, but my impression was that this is not a. If they choose to act against him, there are. I don't think that he has an absolute control here. I guess is the best way to put it, perhaps.
No, it sounded based on the meeting that they act more on a council. So they have several important leaders, but he is the main voice.
Yes, but my problem, I guess my main concern being that if I'll be blunt, at this point, I really just want us to wait it out, get the bow, and leave. If there's going to be any sort of negotiations or diplomacy, it should be people who actually are good at that sort of thing, rather than a bunch of, let's be frank, mercenaries that don't have any right or ability to speak for the man who's trying to move in here.
No, I 100% agree with that. But at the same
And the
time,
problem is,
I don't think that it's more of I want to make sure that we make it known that we're not the ones that they need to be mad at or like like thinking about murdering.
I'll
To
be
put it
blunt
bluntly,
at this. That's fair, but I feel like all of you, like everyone, wants to try and make things better, and I'm not convinced we can do that. The people that are friendly to us are friendly to us. The people that aren't, and I don't think that anything we can do in the short time frame we're going to be here is going to sway anyone to our side. Attempting to do so is honestly more likely to, in the short term, have their hackles up.
maybe you're right.
I understand your thought process. You want things to be better, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we need to accept that we are literally coming, that our coming here has basically put a timer, has turned the hourglass on how long they're going to be able to continue to live their lives as they have for centuries. Even if we leave on good terms, it doesn't change the fact that our very presence has signaled a change in how they're going to have to live.
We could just not tell.
Except that would then lead. Except, can you imagine what would happen then? Ignoring any possible consequences to us, as if he found out, as I somehow don't see them not mentioning it, not coming out that they'd encountered us or anything like that. Ignoring that, what would his response be then? He's going to have sent settlers out. They're going to encounter these people, and I see things going poorly. At which point, very violently, when there's no attempt at diplomacy made, at which point he's just going to hire people to kill them.
No, I agree. We have to tell him. So at the very least, we can hope that he takes into consideration of his plans and starts. It's his responsibility to think about what to do with them.
Yes. That I think is the key thing here. Is our responsibility is not to try and solve all the problems that we're encountering out here. If we can, that's fine. And I'm sure that would be very well received by his mate, by again, my something went blank, by Velkum. But at the same time, we want to avoid actively making it worse. Which again, I said, Kaji, I understand these are good people overall, and I don't want them to lose, and I don't want things to go poorly for them. And I would like to leave on good terms, but I'm not sure we can with the majority.
Well, I think as of right now, we have the majority that don't mind us being here, but it's a
Right.
very vocal minority, and it's only going to grow. That's the problem. They're going to be loud, they're going to be vocal, they're going to continue to sway people to their side, and I just wish there was a way we could, prove them wrong, but I don't see that happening. I think you're right.
I actually reach out, put a hand on your shoulder. I'm like, I wish I wasn't. I wish I was wrong, that there was a way we could help smooth things over here, but I shake my head sadly. I cannot see a path. And I'm not saying there isn't, but I don't see it.
Nope, you're right. We should just do what we're paid to do here. I guess at this point we'll just meet again when it's time for dinner. Given the concerns we have tonight, I think it's wise if we decide on some kind of watch schedule tonight too.
I always watch every night. I keep myself awake every night.
How does that work?
I cast a spell on myself that makes me not take ill effects from not gaining my sleep. I save a slot every day for it.
Okay, but how do you get your spell slots back?
It counts. Keep watch. You gain. You basically have taken a long rest, but you can stay awake and alert.
Well, that's very convenient and seems
I can
broken.
I can cast it on anybody technically, but I
Out
typically
of
just
game,
do
are
it.
you talking in game or out of game, John?
About the watch schedule?
Not about the watch schedule, but about where you're discussing the spell.
Well, I would have been discussing the watch schedule, but I don't know if I would know anything about the actual spell.
Okay.
I'm telling.
Yeah.
I said it in game. I told you, like, I stay up every night. Like, I never go to sleep.
Yeah, he was just trying to clarify if John's confusion about how the spell works was Kaji or John.
Both?
Oh, I got
Oh.
you.
Oh, okay. I guess you didn't know this, but that's what Relia does too.
Yep.
And has for quite a long time.
I guess that's why I've never taken a turn at watch.
Nope.
That makes more sense now.
All right. Well, that's a different game. So yeah, you have just been informed that your drow companion apparently doesn't sleep.
Interesting.
ever.
And kind of freaky.
Oh yeah, it's super disturbing. I've seen him do it once, and he was just kind of sitting there staring. It actually seems really boring. Like, what do you do?
You think you would learn a new skill doing that, like, sewing.
Oh, I can basically do whatever I want in the middle of the night while everyone else sleeps.
Like, how many books have you read?
Well, everyone else wastes hours of the day.
I always want to be productive. Now, sometimes I do just sit and stare, but you know, I do my own things to keep myself entertained at night.
The gaming masturbates over all of us.
Whoa!
Wow!
Whoa!
That went from 0 to 100 really fucking quick, and I need you to slam that brake pedal.
I'll be honest,
Was
my
that out
biggest...
loud? I was muted.
No, you were not muted.
I need you to pull that ripcord on that parachute like right fucking now.
I need an adult.
We're out of luck there.
Good news. Skipley's the oldest of us.
I'm by a long shot the oldest of everybody. I'm probably older than everybody
I feel
in
a
the party
little
combined.
violated. All right. Well, with that, I guess I will retire to my bunk room, whatever this place has.
I'll be in my bunk.
trying to forget. It's probably not gonna work, so I'm just gonna end up repressing it.
Set out of game.
He did clarify out of game. He did not say.
Justin, do I know any stories of actual cooperation between Lasso and the gnomes?
Well, you
That's a knowledge history.
Yeah.
But suddenly I don't feel comfortable telling telling the story I just learned.
That would in fact be a knowledge history.
I actually don't know if I have that one. Let's check.
You're a bard. You have it.
I'm a cleric. I only get a few of these knowledges. But history is one of them.
All right.
However, I don't know shit.
So I take it you had
That
a 4
is-
roll.
It's a 9 total.
Yeah. Nothing's coming to mind. In fact, the only thing you can think of is actually dealing with the gnome and Rene gods, who were leaders of their tribes when they first came to this world, because their world was dying and they worked together to survive until the gods opened the portals and brought them to a new land.
Yeah, you hear that? We was gods and shit.
You are neither Scory nor Moonshade, so that's the only particular thing that's coming to mind. Okay. Anything else? That sounds like a no.
Nope.
Alrighty. Any out-of-game questions before we move on?
Nope.
Okay. So, that night, while excuse me, dinner is prepared. It is still communal eating, but it's not a feast like it was the previous night. So, you are welcome to partake. I'm going to assume most of you do.
Yes.
Mhm.
Does anyone not partake?
I will. After learning the knowledge that I did, I will abstain from eating.
Okay. You didn't eat at the feast either, so.
Well, no, but I did drink a little bit. I'm not touching anything.
Okay.
I don't. Just in case, because even if, say, the smaller group that wants to kill us, if they decided to, you know, get their hands in our food and do something weird, against the call of the majority, I don't want to be any part of that.
I'd remind you that the way that they have these meals is that it's all communal.
Yeah, everyone's eating out of one big pot.
It's just one giant pot.
Yeah.
Oh.
They couldn't poison us without poisoning themselves.
Unless they've built an immunity to a certain poison, or because of their race, they're immune to a certain poison that none of us are.
Oh man. It's aliens, man. I'm telling you, they're out there. It's what the government wants you to think. You sound like a crazy person. Anyway.
Mm. So do you stay separate from the group to eat your rations? What are you doing?
Well, I'll since I was unaware that these were big, I didn't realize that. I will, because it's a lot less likely that they're princess briding me. So
Mm. Do you have your own utensils, or they're just passing out wooden bowls? So
that's fine. I'll eat with my hands and stuff. I know where my hands
it's stew.
are. Oh, well, no, I don't have utensils. Are they passing out just bowls, or are they passing out utensils too? Utensils too.
No, they're just passing out bowls because most of these people have like their own utensils that they keep on them in a small pouch.
Well,
That's actually a
well
fairly
then.
common thing.
Uh,
Did you
I mean,
buy? Did you buy a kit?
I yeah, I have a Magus kit.
In the Magus kit, does it have a mess kit?
Let me see. I have no idea. I just put it in there.
Didn't ever list what was in it. You should probably do that at some point.
Yes, a mess kit.
Okay.
It includes. Yeah.
Then you have the eating
All right.
utensils you need.
Okay.
All right. Skiffley, give me a perception check. As you sit down to eat your bowl of stew.
$21.
Okay. So, as you sit down, you note that there are several people watching you.
Me specifically?
Yes.
Okay.
And it makes you nervous, and you're examining your food, and there seems to be a film on the inside edge of the bowl.
Ugh. I don't like that.
Out of game, do you have detect poison?
No. I don't even know what the hell that would be. It's not I don't think there's a spell detect poison.
It's called a.
There is.
For me, maybe
I'll detect poison.
for you it might be a cantrip. For me, it's called an horizon. I think.
I don't think he gets it.
Oh no!
Mages will not get detect poison.
Oh no!
No. Detect fiendish presence, detect magic. These are my 0 levels.
Those are pretty important though. I mean, it looks weird to you, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's the most important thing.
Wow,
No one's
you're
saying
like
something that looks weird to me.
one of the only spellcasters that doesn't get it. Paladin, Cleric, Oracle, Druid, Inquisitor, Psychic, Ranger, Shaman, Sorcerer, Wizard, and Witch all get it.
Could he technically purify his food? Is that a thing?
If he has the spell Purify Food and Water, yes.
That was my next thought. Immediately was, oh, maybe you could purify it, and then they just all look at you like, what the fuck?
Casting magic on
Never know. Add a little zest.
Purify food and water would be a first level spell, right? Or would it be a second level? Because I don't think.
I think it's a 0.
I think it's also a 0.
I don't have purify food and water here. No, I've
It's a
got
0 cantrip.
prestidigitation. That's all I've got. So
Clean your hair off.
Yeah.
No.
Clerics, Oracles,
I'll sit
Druids,
there
and
politely with
Shamans
my.
get that.
I'll sit there politely with my bowl, but I'm not. After I notice that, I'm not going to eat it.
Okay.
Be like, I'm not hungry. I just forgot I ate earlier.
I'll look over whoever's sitting next to me. I'll be like, hey, let me see your bowl.
What's
as long
up,
as it's
Gale?
not one of the gnomes. As long as it's one of us. As long as we're sitting as a party.
Are you?
No, are we?
That is complete.
Yes,
You
it's
know,
on
I
you.
figured
Did
I
you
would.
go enjoy,
I would
did you-
choose to sit next to at least one party member. I wouldn't. I'm not just gonna plop my ass down in the middle of a bunch of these gnomes, being that I already don't trust them.
Who did you sit next to?
I don't know. I guess Genevieve. She, like.
I'm
Or-
amongst as many gnomes as possible.
Wow. Wow.
I'm the exact opposite. I'm trying to make friendly relations here.
I
Oh,
would
that's
probably
fair.
do that too, knowing me. I'd be like all my little woodland friends here.
He's not necessarily trying to isolate himself, but he's just. The funny thing is, I just was like, I suspect you're going to wind up sitting by me.
Yeah, I'll sit with the dog.
Oh my god.
So
You can't
when I
just
see
say
that,
that.
Wow.
That's
so
racist.
I see that in my
That was the bad one.
I see that in my bowl, and I say, I look over at Cormac. Cormac, have you already like started devouring your food? Like, have you already started eating, like, going for it? Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to decide. Here's the thing, I'm not
okay.
sure.
Okay. Well, everything just went completely quiet for a second, and I was like, "Oh shit! Did I cut out? Did I lose them?" Or...
No, that was. You know what? Call high low.
Oh boy. Hi.
I guess the real question is here, like ethically, how many people look at their food prior to eating it? It's a
I'll also point out different time frame, culture, yada yada yada. I'll say that I am literally just put a spoonful in my mouth.
I would have done that too.
But okay. So I look at you. I say, "Hey, don't swallow that yet. Can I see your bowl?"
Sitting there with a spoonful of stew in his mouth.
I'm looking at you very oddly as I pass the bowl over.
And these are like, so you said that these bowls, all of their like furnishings and things like that, they're made by these nature druids that like use magic to mold the wood. So they would just be like a normal, like, look like a well crafted like wooden bowl, right?
Yeah.
Typically,
Yeah.
like there shouldn't be any kind of unnatural, like you said, like a film would definitely look out of the ordinary for these kind of bowls, right?
Yeah. Honestly, for being a plain quote unquote wooden bowl, it like there's, I don't want to say intricate, but there is vine work around the outside. It seems very well formed. There's no carving marks because it wasn't carved.
Right. It was
grown in this shape.
Molded.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of like the melons that they grow in the shape of little men and things. Anyways, so yeah, so I take a look at Cormac's bowl if he is willing to hand me his bowl.
He said he did.
Shut up. Mm-hmm.
Are you an alchemist, Seth, by any chance?
No.
Go ahead and give me a perception.
Well, I rolled one higher, so 22.
Yeah, his has the same film in it.
That's weird. Because I'm worried that they put it in our parties. Now I want to look at one of the gnome bowls.
Very quietly, is there a problem?
I remind you, you have a spoonful of stew in your mouth.
Let's see. Can I take it out of my mouth without? Would that be a dex check, Justin?
That's like a sleight of hand almost, actually. I think in my hand.
That's
you mean a dex check?
Yeah. It's gonna be a very difficult one.
Like kind of like you pull the bowl up, pull the bowl up to your face, or something weird.
What sleight of hand do you expect me to have, Ben?
I know, like maybe like almost like spitting the. I don't know if it would be like sleight of hand would be necessary. Maybe it is like a dex check would be like bring the bowl up to your face as you look like you're eating. Yeah, like maybe just more of like spitting the food out, but it looks like you're eating it, and you're like, "No, this is great."
I'm not doing that. I'm literally, from my perspective, all this is me opening my mouth and drawing the spoon out.
Hopefully with the food still on it.
Most of the gnomes, while they have like a spoon or something, they drink straight from the bowl and then they use the spoon at the end to get up whatever they didn't get out. Just tilting the bowl back.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But just make the dex check.
18.
Okay. So you very carefully extract the spoon. There is probably because you put the spoon in the bowl, there is liquid from the spoon in your mouth. But you have the best.
Wasn't. Yeah. Okay.
The
Vast majority of it stayed in.
Yeah, well, the spoon itself was wet, so
Right.
like it was on your tongue. Like, wait, what's wrong with the food?
So I point out, do you? And I'm saying this quietly. Do you want a stealth check?
Yeah, but then I'll need a perception check from Cormac to hear it.
15 on the die plus stealth. Okay, well, that's
Most
success
exciting
by
dinner
one.
we've ever had.
So that would be a 21 stealth.
Okay.
28 on my perception.
All right.
So I say, do you see this like film on the inside of our bowls? I feel like that's kind of unnatural and looks like it might not supposed to be there.
Okay, I'm looking. Okay, is this a perception again?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question. Oh, 22 on my part. I also give it a sniff.
Okay.
That's smart. Yeah, I forgot you have a strong sniffer.
So I need perception checks from everyone else in the party.
To see if they notice that we're
No.
checking out this bowl.
I'm over by Cutter telling a story. Do you want one from me?
Yeah, yours is just going to have a higher difficulty because you're engrossed in something else. What story are you telling him?
I rolled a 3, so I don't think I got it.
No.
I don't care what my bonus is. I don't think it's high enough. I'm telling him about the dragon we slayed. About Cormag and Skiffley's heroics.
Ah, all right.
And we're over here like a bunch of bozos checking out the bowl.
Give me a perform while you're doing
that. 22.
Nice. All right. So you have the attention of not only Cutter, but a few others around you. I guess Vaughn needs one, and Kaji as well. Nope, Vaughn's just enjoying his stew.
That checks out. God, guys, this good food is really good.
Got any more of that wine?
Archer Jesus.
Are you, by the way, are you eating as you're telling this story?
I mean, I don't know, like not taking bites in between, sentences, but yeah. I mean, I was eating.
Okay. Charlotte, were you eating?
So, describe me. I would say that Charlotte generally, yeah, I would look at my food before I eat it just to make sure it looks good or whatever. It's hot, and then I would probably bite it, most likely, as long as nothing looked weird about it to me or stood out.
Okay. Yeah, just looks like a hearty stew to you.
Yeah, I'm not untrusting. I don't, I'm a pretty new adventurer. I don't think that I'm not used to people attempting to poison me or anything weird like that. So I'm just like, yep, looks good. I'm kind of excited to eat this or whatever.
But you do notice that Skiffley is acting a bit odd, and Cormag is over there next to him, slowly and carefully pulling a spoon out of his mouth.
Okay. That's weird for Cormag and Skiffley. So I'm definitely concerned about my friends. I'll probably stop mid eating. Obviously, I've already had a couple bites. Knowing me, I'll go over there.
Kaji is occupied and can get back to me when John gets back. All right. Meanwhile, Skiffley, what are you doing? Or actually, I'm sorry, Cormag, give me your perception check for your sniffer.
22.
Yep, definitely some rabbit, vegetables, some local herbs. You're not smelling anything that smells dangerous, though.
I'm obviously, I think I mentioned, I don't know if you can confirm that, Justin, of me walking over to, I thought it was weird that my friends were acting kind of funny. Just wanted to say hi.
Yep.
And how their night was.
Yep.
So I'm walking. Okay. If I get a chance, I'll go ahead and, I'm assuming I see Cormag like sniffing his food. And I'm like, what the hell? Well, I've obviously Cormag's a furry, like, I think a null.
He is a
So I'm
null,
like,
yes.
so I'm like, I'm assuming that's normal because I'm assuming that, having a strong sniff or whatever. I'm like, what? Hey guys, everything okay? I kind of noticed you weren't really. I've never seen you do that before. Everything all right? Like I'm enjoying my food.
She takes another big
You,
gulp from the bowl.
yeah, like quite literally. Yeah, exactly. You say anything to me, Giffley or Cormag?
I kind of shrug at Skiffly. I'm like, something just a little odd.
What?
I kind of
Okay,
shrug and shake my head at you.
Okay. Skiffley, are you okay? I don't really, I haven't really got to know you much.
Do you have your bowl in your hand?
Yeah, I'm eating my food as like you're talking to me. I'm like, this is like, it's kind of like a very, I don't know if the word's like immature. It's just like I'm not manneristic per se. Like I'm not gonna, put my food down. I'm probably bring it with me, knowing me. So yeah, I have my food with me in my hand.
Okay. I take your bowl from you.
Okay, I'm like, what? Why did you take my bowl?
And I inspect his bowl too. Well,
Okay.
technically
I'm
her
not like,
bowl.
Perception.
and I'm like, hey,
Fuck, I just put my die on the floor.
I'm like, hey, that's my food.
An 18.
Yep. Same film.
All right. I hand it back to you.
I reach into my bowl and scratch at the film a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it comes off pretty easy.
Skiffly.
So it's not like it's something that's meant to be a sealant.
No, it's definitely not. In fact, it's almost liquid itself.
Okay.
Skiffly. Yeah, go ahead.
Quit eating that for now.
You
I'm
said
also whispering. Yeah, I say just don't take any more bites of that for now.
Why? It's just food. Do you think something's wrong with it? Is it not? Is it not cooked well?
I'm worried about something. It's not the food itself. It's.
Are you like implying something to me as you're saying that, or are you just kind of saying like very natural? It's very perceptive when I look at you, obviously, because I'm like assuming that maybe my food wasn't cooked very well or something like that, or you're telling me not to eat it, so I wasn't sure. Like, is there something you're trying to tell me per se? I'm not saying that to you when I say
I
that.
know.
So how would you? Yeah.
I don't know how to explain this to you. You know, keep asking questions, not even trying to whisper. Like we're just sitting at this table full of these gnomes, and it's like blah, 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 about your bowl.
No table.
Okay.
No table, no, just stumps in the ground. So I just say, just trust me. Please,
Sense
for a minute.
like a sense motive maybe against him.
Okay.
Would that maybe like to understand what Skiffley's trying to imply to me per se. So I'll roll a sense motive.
You've known that I've been very skeptical about this whole known situation anyways, so
Okay, so either way, I'm gonna roll. So roll against you. Let's do. I got a. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. Shit. Oh, a 19. That's a first. 23 altogether. So I'm kind of like looking at you, like, what is he trying to tell me?
And I smack you on the shoulder.
Okay.
I lean over. No, I smack Skiffly on the shoulder, lean over. It's rabbit oil.
It's rabbit oil.
Yes. It's from
Ooh.
the stew.
So it's creating a film in all the bowls.
Yes, it's going to be in all the bowls.
So I'm like, is my food done though?
Everything's
Like,
fine. Yeah, everything's fine. Go back to your food.
and I'm like, okay, and I keep shoving my food in my mouth, and I just walk
No,
away.
here's the
and
thing. Out of game, Justin, go fuck yourself.
No, this is good. I think this is
No,
perfect.
this is good. This is good. Out of game, that was very well done, you asshole.
Kind of like how he played the map out when we went to go look for
Every one
Kaji.
of you over there is freaking out about this damn stew, and I'm just sitting over there, cheeks bulging, like, oh, this is good shit. Because nobody bothered to come and talk to me about it.
I just kind of sigh, and I'm like, I do understand though. Look, here's the thing. I'm looking at Skiffly. I'm like, I do understand though.
All right.
Because at a game, we're all very much on edge here.
And I'm like, well, thanks for looking out for me. So I'm going to go eat my food now. So I'm going to go back to where I sat and eat my food. And I'm assuming my spot is still available.
Yeah.
Next to all my gnome friends.
One of them's asking if everything's okay.
And I'm like, yeah, no, my friend was just making some weird faces. I'm not sure. I'm not really tact. I don't have any tact when it comes to like, like holding back or holding stuff to the chest. I'm just like, yeah, my friend was just acting funny. Just was worried about him. He doesn't normally do that.
So the gnome actually leans in kind of close and is like, he's a drow, right?
Yeah, pretty cool, right?
Don't they eat, right?
Yeah, I mean, Skiffly's eating around me.
Maybe it's some cultural thing. We haven't seen him eat since he got here.
I'm kind of like trying to like maybe
out of game, Seth. That's why the ones were staring at you. They haven't seen you eat yet. You literally didn't eat at the feast.
Yeah, you didn't. Technically, that's correct.
So they're like, do you eat? They've never seen a drow before.
Bro, if they were to like look at our cabin at night, they'd also see me sitting up, like looking around, like never sleeping. Too, they'd probably get the super wrong impression of drow.
It's a demon.
Justin snowballing us tonight, guys. Let's keep going.
Oh,
I'm letting you do it to yourselves.
And I'm playing on it. I'm playing on the troll effect here.
There's no one to blame for this shit except you guys.
Oh no, I fully understand. Like I said, I'm out of game. I'm amused. In game, I'm get it. It's that whole we're all on edge. But at the same time, there is that element of God damn it, man! I'm trying to enjoy my meal.
Damn right, trying to enjoy this meal.
All right, I leave it alone. I take a couple small bites of the stew just to participate.
Little bird baby bites.
Okay.
No, nobody's vomiting in my mouth. I'm just eating it.
Well, that did
Cormac,
not
I have another
go
really weird
anywhere I
request.
wanted to.
This has gone so far off the rails, and you are the only person to blame for this.
Why is everyone staring at me when you said that?
Well, you're the mama.
Okay, continue.
All right. So there is a little bit of whispering between some of the gnomes once Skiffly takes a few bites.
There's a couple handfuls of currency being exchanged.
Well, trinkets more like, because they don't have a lot of use for currency amongst themselves.
Then making bets.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the meal goes on. Genevieve, are you still planning to do your story tonight to the larger
Nope.
audience?
Nope, that's why I switched to the dragon tail.
Okay.
Towards the end of the feast, I do want to pull Cutter off to the side, though.
So he set his bowl down, go off, talk with you.
Well, first of all, just thank you again for the hospitality and letting us stay and feeding us. It was mighty kind of you.
You are a guest, and though the news you brought was not welcome, that is not your fault.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. We will eventually have to go back. We will have to tell them what we've found here. But I know that there is reluctance at best of that, if not outright fear amongst your people. I want to do something to ensure at least some alleviation of it. And right now, the only thing that comes to mind is when we go back to inform him, I would like to present some kind of trade agreement between you and him. I mean, you all say that metal's valuable to you because you don't have means of getting it here. So if it's something that he could supply for you, and in return, maybe some of your hunts, you supply meats and such.
It would be a very hard sell for my people. Chief I may be, but the power of the position is not absolute.
Well, I mean, I don't need the answer now. I mean, I want you to talk with your people, and we're not leaving until later tomorrow. So, but take some time to think about it, and just let me know. And if I have your blessing to present such an agreement to him, I happily will. Kind of those first steps towards hopefully a long and healthy relationship between us.
I will discuss it with the council. I would prefer peace. Peaceful. But there's also the problem of what happens later. Even if we have this agreement with this one lord, what about the next? Wishes to cage us in on the other side.
It'd be things to discuss. I mean, certainly if there's an agreement to be made, eventually the two of you should probably meet and discuss even more semantics over it. So, like I said, it's just the first step is all I'm seeing right now.
You speak with wisdom, and I will take your words to heart and share them with the council. It has been perhaps too long since we had proper contact with civilization. I will have an answer for you before you leave, one way or another.
Yeah, that's all I ask. And either way, all I can promise right now is we will do our absolute best to keep your people safe as far as we can.
Thank you.
But yeah, and hey, that's enough serious talk now. Let's get back to the folks. I could probably think up another story or two to tell everyone.
All right. So you return to the east. Anything else? Do you have a particular story you wish to share with the village as a whole?
I think it's time for them to learn the Ballad of Busty Rogers.
She hates that name, you know that, right?
Huh?
Never mind. All right. Anybody else do anything specific tonight?
No.
Just enjoying the feast and the company.
Okay. As I said, Kali is happy to have you around. She seems to have taken a bit of a shine to you. It's definitely more welcoming than she seemed when you first talked to her this morning. So it would appear that your efforts have not been in vain.
Woo!
She does, since you, as you said, you were not a hunter yourself, give you a few minor tips on how to move through the woodlands without disturbing them. As you are fairly adept at doing so already, just more experience in a rural, urban environment instead. I am going to call a 10-minute break, and we will be back.
Oh boy.